Welcome back, my good people. What if I told you there was another way to using your special skills in recruiting or attracting people? Or what about a story that you were driving a limo and you ended up creating a $4 million, multi-million dollar business? Starting out in limos and then creating your own self-sustaining entrepreneurial development of a business. Today's guest with me, we are extremely pleased to have, I'm your boy Seth Garu, we have Ranjith Ravula. I'm going to take off my reading glasses so everyone gets our bio. So Ranjith is an inspiring entrepreneur who transitioned from earning hourly wages as a limo driver and an accountant, founding a successful recruiting business. His journey begins with humble beginnings, encountering setbacks and deceit, but he persevered and expanded his network. In 2016, Ranjith launched Raks Group, a firm that now boasts a $4 million in revenue as of 2022. Under his leadership, the company focuses on IT staffing and includes innovative services like Social M8. Ranjith emphasizes the creation of strong personal brand and helps others establish businesses in the U.S. Known for his resilience and adaptability, Ranjith has exemplified challenges and that can be transformed into opportunities. We like that here at Maker's Bar. Outside of his professional achievements, he remains dedicated to his community and passionate about empowering others to succeed. Ranjith and my audience, please forgive me for a little of those stumblings in going over his extensive resume. Ranjith is one of the exemplary efforts that Maker's Bar tries to promote as far as a self-made entrepreneur. We're extremely pleased to have you with us today, Ranjith. Ranjith, please feel welcomed. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you, Seth. It's my pleasure to be on your podcast. I'm so excited to, talk about my story.
Absolutely. Well, I must say, as a fellow person, my portion of my life has been in recruiting. So this is particularly exciting for me to hear some of the things about the developments in your organization and some of the forefront of recruiting that you've seen.
Yes, of course. Yeah.
Ranjith, tell us about your beginnings.
See, I'm from India. I came to United States back in 2007. I wasn't actually dependent on my wife visa. Back in India, I did my graduation in commerce, which kind of accounting experience I had 2 to 3 years there. Then after coming to US in 2007, I couldn't work because I was independent, so I had to wait until I get a work authorization. So it took 8 years time to wait for my turn. Immediately, I decided to go back to my own, degree to start my accounting job. While of course I started, but I had many difficulties because of the culture and the market. So I couldn't able to find the right job. But eventually I found a small, a part-time job in accounting, staffing accounting. So that made, to realize there is an opportunity helping a people like me to get into a staffing and establish or create a business. While working in
very quickly,
yeah.
When you say people like you, what do you mean? People who are just starting out as entrepreneurs or starting out businesses? What do you mean by people like you?
See, after 8 years of gap, again, you had a master's degree there and you worked there. And after this long gap, you don't know where to start. You have to start from the scratch. So I thought I would start accounting. I started a limo business, but due to cultural issues and other things, I couldn't survive in accounting job and limo business due to Uber and other new companies. I couldn't able to manage my expenses. Then I thought, okay, I would need to find something else. But while working in accounting, I worked in a staffing company. I learned about the back end accounting thing. So then I realized again. I mean, I got laid off within a 1 year. So I went back again the same place. So see, having these many things and not having a really strong background with a real experience. Again, I don't know where to go, where to start. So what I exactly realized myself is people coming from different countries, and also, even though they have a master degrees, or even though they have 10 years of experience outside of US, they can start immediately with due to work visa issues and other issues. So you have to kick back again and go back to your career and again start your life, whether it's working or building a business. So I realized that gap I can fill it with a little experience and looking at all the staffing, how it works, and back end accounting. I felt okay. I have a half part of it. I know it, but if I can able to fill those gaps and educate them, maybe advise them to get what exactly the U.S. market needs, where they can easily get into a business or maybe a career. So that made me to think about it and start my own. And then I started Raks Group in 2016 with the help of my friends, of course, but it's not easy initially. I learned everything, all ABCDs. And one thing I would say is back in home, I mean, in all other countries, English is not their primary and first language. So it was my
Yes.
third language. And
What was your second?
yeah,
What was your
it was
second
third.
language?
Second language is a Hindi. It's our national language in India. So, of course, when you have money, people send to a private college, they start English medium from the beginning. But due to my financial issues, I had to go to the government schools, and where then they don't even talk about any English. It's a third language, uh, and I didn't get a chance to even communicate with anybody. So I whatever I learned, everything after 2007. So that is another challenge to survive in the US, right? You have to know how to talk and how to communicate. So in that gap, I learned communications, and I learned everything, all my ABDs for ABCDs from there. Starting a business and getting into recruiting is again a challenge. Even though, see, no one will know 100% of in and of business before they start. So my thing is the same thing. So I thought, okay, I'll figure it out on the way. I have a friends, they can refer, they have connections, they can refer a candidate, they can refer a client. All I can sit in, work at the back end and build a business. But it didn't go that way. I had to learn everything from the beginning. Recruiting is the one thing. It was a challenge in the beginning for me, because I was not a social guy. So I was just doing my job and staying home. I did. I have very, very less friends. But entrepreneurship is not easy. Everything
Not at
is
all.
network. Everything is network. Then I started to building a network. Then step by step, I built Raks Group.
Now, you said you weren't a social guy, and myself being in recruiting as a part of my corporate professional career, in recruiting, it requires strong social skills. So, what did you do to overcome some of those obstacles?
So this was my one of my a friend partner, initial in 2017. I was always depending on them to refer somebody or refer a candidate. Of course, they did candidates. He told me one day, without network, you cannot build this business without connections. So that kind of was in my mind always. When COVID time, I thought, okay, I wanted to jump in 100%. I wanted to change myself. Then I immediately started connecting LinkedIn connections every day. almost I reached my max connections, connecting people related to my industry and talking about the challenges and asking questions, even it's a candidate and clients. I built a kind of a network that helped me, you know, to to get some clients, to get candidates, to get a partnerships, I really got really good revenue initially that made me to push myself more. And now in back in 20, I think it has been a 3 years now, then I decided business is about you being, face of your business. So I wanted to build a business and become a face of my business. So then I realized personal branding is very important. I started building 3 years back. Now you can see my LinkedIn. Now I have a 30 plus thousand people following me, and they are my partners, they are my candidate, they are my clients.
Now, going back to what did it take? Because you said being a social person, so that means you had to work on some of the fears or the walls that come up in getting out to network. Because since it requires social skills, so what did you use as tools to help you conquer some of your social anxiety or social anxiousness in meeting people and networking? What were some of the instruments or tools that help you to get over that?
So I I mean, I only the tool I remember only the LinkedIn. All I need is to send the connections every day with my calendar link. People used to schedule it, and while the market was slow, everybody had a time to schedule a call. If you're sending like 30 invitations and connects in LinkedIn, and end of the day, 10 10 used to accept it, 10 used to schedule a call, 10 used to talk. The tools what I use is a LinkedIn, calendar link, phone. This is where I communicated, and I improved myself communication. Same time I understood how market is at that time, how other people are doing businesses, and what they need help, and how we can work with a win-to-win situation so that I can make some revenue and helping them working together. Along with that, the other thing is really changed is my mindset. Working in the limo, I was communicating and well with the clients, all executives, and I never got any issue. People saying that you're not you're not saying the right thing or wrong thing. So that made me to correct myself and improve my communication skills. And again, going into accounting, and I learned all the language in staffing, and back in all the accounting. And when I did not say that I worked in a financial advisor. I had to, when I was working, the market was slow. I had to sidetrack while working on my Raks crew building. I went sidetrack and I started a um, financial advisor. It's kind of a networking type. So it's a very uncomfortable area to talk. I was joining with the teams. I was even presenting a kind of a BOP, business operation, like opportunity something, in a Zoom, and I attended 2 events. And believe me, that I don't know, I was there for 1 year, but that business gave me more confidence and more clarity. Even when I attended one event in Las Vegas, uh, there was this leader, John Maxwell. He was talking, giving a speech about the networking, and talking about giving an importance of one thing, not to get diverted, and giving a less priority, giving less priority to 100 things. Giving one is a more priority, is going to see you as results. So he gave an example also, but that clicked me and it changed completely. I went back. I completely stopped financial advisor, and I moved back to recruiting, and I started focusing on more. And then then it changed everything. So me, as not a social guy and never went outside and made a friends, and totally changed 30K plus LinkedIn and outside networking, now building, talking to the candidates. It totally changed my life. So that's how I build it.
And so it sounds like you had to push yourself past some of the fears in order
Yes.
to really develop the confidence muscle. Am I correct?
I mean, that's one thing is changed whole my life. Without that, I wouldn't be here. Even being an entrepreneur, and especially when you're alone, having a difficulty in your business, and dealing with the candidates, clients, team, every day, every single deal is a challenge. I even You have to first learn how not to stress out, because when I was going like one candidate, and if candidate doesn't show up for interview, or if candidate didn't pick up
Oh
the
my goodness,
call.
Ranjith, I know this part. Yeah, I remember these were dreadful days when the candidate would just not show up as far as my recruiting career, and it would just be a dreadful moment.
I mean, believe me, I had to live, lot of sleepless nights with that. Then again, it's a cycle until you make the number. Now you have a 30-40 people, and now taking care. One deal is not that important. Even though one deal, if doesn't go well, you can easily to replace it. But when you have one thing that changes your income and your life, then you can imagine how important that one deal, one candidate. So first I learn how to manage my stress, and how to motivate myself, and how to learn every day, push myself on fears. And now I still do it. If
Let's
being in
let's
this,
go over, Ranjith, if you don't mind. Let's go over how did you learn how to manage your stress? What were some of the techniques you were doing to manage your stress?
initially, like I said, I was alone, and every deal, everything happening in the company, I can share to my wife. See, I don't want to, her to stress out and say that, just stop the business and, let's do something. Right. So I don't want that. So what I used to do is I used to wake up early, and I always now still, if you check my phone, you'll see how to, all the videos are, going to show up on my feed. How to develop your communication, how to get inspiration, how, anything about recruiting or personal development. So this is one from the initial stages. Like I attended something like, this podcast, right? So example, the mostly I concentrated on the startup podcast, where the startup person, like he is successful now, but he went through a lot of struggles, and he came to this place. So I was listening all the stories and getting motivated, and taking their suggestions. Like, they say that, okay, read this book, read this book to make it systemized. Maybe read this book to, how to acquire a client, how to client. So these are the things made me to go back and buy books and read. And one, I will recall it, two podcasts. One podcast is it's um it's FOR. I will give you the name of that podcast again, but the other one is the 5 a.m. Club. Randomly, I came up one YouTube video. It says that 20 get up in the morning at 5 o'clock, 20 minutes for meditation, 20 minutes for planning your next day, and 20 minutes uh, for exercising. So these things made me be calm and focus on right things, and reduce my stress. So
So
this
you
is
created a
the
structure. You created a
yeah.
structure for yourself to follow daily. And I think that's some of the pieces people miss. We set our goals, but we don't create a structure to attain those goals. So you create a structure for yourself and you maintain that on a daily routine.
Yes, the podcast I'm talking about is the EOR, Entrepreneur on Fire. This guy is he does every day 20 minutes podcast. So see, learning from others is very important. So whatever you do,
Absolutely.
if that's what I believe, the podcast, why I'm doing is, if somebody can, one person can take as an inspiration, if that guy driving a limo, doing a financial, doing an accounting without talking well English can do this, can't I do it, right? That's the one message. If I can make it right, and and somebody can take it as a positive and inspiration, my goal is reached.
Now, from driving, you mentioned your goal being reached. Was your goal to make it a multi-million-dollar company, or was it just to help support companies, or the both? Because entrepreneurs, obviously, we want to make money, but what initially was your goal, and why recruiting? Why specifically recruiting? Did you find yourself more comfortable, being that you had some of the social stuff going on?
So initially, after getting my work authorization, uh, I had a couple of choices going into accounting. And when I was thinking about accounting, I wanted to just make 60,000 per annum and just support my family. That was my only goal. But after working there and seeing that all the challenges, then most of my friends are in IT side. They recommended me to learn a language and get into IT job. But seeing everybody and working in IT, then I don't know, some reason I was not really convinced. But working that 1 year at accounting job in staffing uh, changed my life. So, and also coming back from India without language, issues, with language issues and this much gap, then I realized I don't really wanted to, go back and do the 9 to 5 job again. When I was working in the limo, it was a hell. Midnights, early mornings, and I didn't have a really good time spending it. Okay, then I wanted
Wait,
to
wait,
try.
Reggie, Reggie. So give us a little bit of your experience about limo driving that made it hell. So I can imagine you had to deal with some people you didn't want to deal with. Maybe they were rude, but was it just the routine and the hour schedule? Was it the encounters with the persons? What made it so torturous?
So people used to call me Reddy in limo. Reddy is ready. So I'm always ready kind of thing. I had a very good corporate clients. I used to get like 2 months before their itinerary to schedule pickups and drop-offs. But unfortunately, everybody needs me. So I can do at the same time two jobs. And when I was sending somebody else, they are always upset because the way of me doing and somebody else doing is different. So I had that issue initially, but I was also doing some quick jobs where, believe me, like one couple of times, like I had to leave my middle of the meal and wash my hands to leave it, because I don't want my customer to get upset. I wanted to be there as early and go and pick him up. I had to do that. And now, if you need to pick up somebody at 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, you have to get up at 3 o'clock, get ready, and go. I'm into DC area, so you can imagine, going into DC and picking up somebody. It's a 2 hours, back and forth, and getting ready is an hour. So 3 o'clock, somebody is arriving at 1 o'clock. You cannot sleep it, and if you don't sleep, then you'll be stressed. So you have to wait at the airport and get picking, right? So these things, it's like there is no a proper timing, and you can't really outsource it well to manage it to the go, take it to the next level. So, and with the Uber, then the most of the businesses, I mean, all the clients, I lost it. And we had a couple of, but I couldn't make enough money managing licenses, insurances, and all those things. Barely I was doing enough money to survive. Then I thought, okay, I mean, it's enough, then let's move on to the something else where I can spend more time and with my family. Then I decided, I moved to this.
So I'm curious, when you are making your salary from doing the Uber driving and accounting to now your worth and turning the successful company over to $4 million, what was one of the first things you noticed, or that, and I think this is important for entrepreneurs to know, when you first made a huge financial mark accomplishment, what was the difference? What was the main lesson you learned that brought you to that higher mark in a financial freeing zone? What was the major mark that made you say, okay, I made my $1 million. Here's what's different than when I was driving my limo?
Yeah. Before that, I wanted to say, before making that mark, that money, I was just pouring my money, not making, of course, salaries, right? Spending more money, and I went almost 80,000 debt.
Oh, wow.
And back in
80,
2019,
you said 80,000 in debt?
yes. So I had to deal everything my own. Staffing, it's not your money. All recruiting is different and staffing is different. So when we are work on margin basis, you will have a very less cut. So even though I was making 800k revenue in 2019, I was not making enough money, still. So I still had those debts. So after 2022, everything is changed. Then all debts were clear, and I was making more than I would make it working somewhere else. And you know what, the main thing, even though I was if I'm making that money, I don't need to sit in the office. I can travel anywhere, I still make money. I can stay with the family, I can drop off my kids, I can take care of anything. That flexibility is more important than anything.
Absolutely.
I am working as an employee. I get my paycheck as like somebody, in my leadership team. But only thing, the difference, I don't need to be here to make that salary, that paycheck. But if I'm here and working 10 hours, 12 hours, which means I'm trying to push company to the next level where I can increase my paycheck and do whatever I like most. So my life totally changed. Now my mindset changed. I can travel easily wherever I want. My goal was, it was my dream to go to every year to back my home and meet my parents. That is happening. And I'm proudly networking and joining in network communities and traveling for events without any problem. And now vacations, we were living to paycheck before 2019. And now with a family, I'm happy I can send my kids to a school or colleges without uh, they are getting the loans. And now I can travel with the family every year somewhere in the world and spend at least 10 days. So these are the things which I'm achieved now. And I mean, what else you need in the life, right? So
That's
I mean,
very true.
if I
Especially with family
yeah,
being the most important.
see what I
Now,
see
right.
difference. Yeah, sorry. What I see difference,
Absolutely. Go ahead.
me and somebody, like example, if you're already an IT professional, already a businessman, you're making 100k. If you make like 10 million, that's is nothing for you, right? But if somebody like me making a zero can make 1 million, is a lot. And that's where the people has to realize it. And there's so much talent out there, but they don't use it. Being these kind of challenges, if I can do it, it's all because of, no, it's not about the talent, it's about resilience and not giving up, and keep learning yourself and going next level. That's what I see myself.
I like that you said that, but I would question. So things are going well with the recruiting. You're making, say, 100 grand, or actually, let's take it lower. You're making about 75 a year net with the recruiting. How do you go from 75 grand a year to $1 million? Is it you were reinvesting the money to earn interest, or the company was just growing? What was that small detail that can give some insight to newer entrepreneurs? How do they change their money to grow as you did with your company?
See, this is there's a saying, right? You can put all eggs in one basket, right? So
Correct.
now recruiting changing. It's not like before. Before
It's still
2023, 24, 25 is a challenging year. What I am trying to do is just keeping the balance. Even though I don't make more than what I did 2022, what I want to do is I don't want to go less than that. So that's what I'm trying to do. I am learning with the AI and everything, which I don't want it to, get surprised after 1 year if there is something really changes. So educating yourself, being ready for the new challenges, new technology is the one thing you have to do if you wanted to continue your business. And the second thing, you have to diversify, right? So when we were making like 60K, we lived with paycheck to paycheck, and we saved a lot of money to buy a rental home and our own home. And with this
so you were
income,
saving real quick. So
af-
you were saving money,
I
and that's what helped you grow your money.
yes, the one thing is I only take the salary. Everything I reinvest in the business. So when I wanted to upgrade myself, even if I need to go to the nice office, I would look at the difference. If I need to pay $2,000 extra to the new office, would I invest on the a new office, or would I invest on some employee where my business go to the next level? So that's where I think. And investing into a different strategies like real estate or you know and of course now new technologies. Now I created a social mate. Now I have a recruit elite, and also I'm building an AI interview product also. So putting it in different ways, so that you don't depend on one thing, and save as much as I drive. I tell this one to everybody. If you see my two cars, I have more than 10 years old cars. I'm driving the MKT, which I bought it for my limo. I'm still driving it. I can afford to buy a luxury car, but I don't want to do it, because you have to save as much as you don't want it to go back, and when things go strong. So you save as much as, and you invest in different things to save yourself. Yeah.
And so investing, you keeping things frugal, being frugal with your money. So don't go out and buy the new car, reinvest back into your business, live inexpensively. Those ways that help you to get to that next financial goal, correct?
Absolutely. Yes, that's absolutely. Yeah.
And then, so if you don't mind, Ranjith, tell us about, there's two parts I want to go into. As a former recruiter, I see that AI is definitely taking up some recruiting space, where it was more personalized before the burgeoning industry of AI. So how are you seeing AI impact recruiting as a business? Is it hurting your business or helping?
Of course. See, this is how you look at it. But in my point of view, it's helping for me. But it depends where you use it, right? As a recruiting and staffing, if I wanted to put it, use it in the business development side, yes, I can do some task which is admin kind of work. I can do automate it with the AI, and spend the manual person more into relationship side. The problem is now everybody thinks like you can do high level, like high volume thing with the AI, but that's not going to work the real way. The problem is now, because of too many people are sending everybody know everything with the AI, everybody is equal. So how can you make yourself different? Connecting, personally, like I said, by the branding, that's really really important in this era, this AI. If
Branding?
you don't
Did you say branding?
branding, yes, The being
Branding.
face of your business is very, very important. Now, with the AI, with the email, with the phones, working, calling from somebody is not going to really help. If you do, if nobody knows you, and nobody is going to work with you. Even now with the AI, people can, you know, uh, fake yourself and fake your voice, fake your face. Everything is very, very complicated. So you have to look at how you can identify the manual task, the admin task, and automate it and put your more effort into them in the relationship side, where you will easily, you can go to next level, and you can save a lot of time and money. But people are getting confused. There are so many tools, there are so many things going on. People are playing with it and they are misusing it. So that is kind of a danger side. But if you are into the business, it's a very good opportunity to focus on right things, and one thing, and not to put like too many things at one time. Focus on one thing and develop it with the AI help and grow it.
So AI should be used more administratively and in a smaller capacity, and then it won't have too much interference in the job market, is what you're saying?
That's right. So one thing I wanted to add is AI is not going to replace a recruiter. The reason I'll tell
I-
you. The
I'm
reason I
very
tell you,
curious because a number, if you don't mind, I know a
yeah,
number of people, especially in the recruiting industry, even myself as part of my current profession, some are looking at AI having a larger role in replacing the personal touch in recruiting. So I'm curious what your thoughts are.
you know who AI who's going to AI is going to replace the recruiters, but not
Who?
not the recruiters who calls, who talks, who meets. And these recruiters will be there. The people who will be, you know, behind the scenes, who doesn't show up, who doesn't really call and communicate, they will be gone. So
Okay.
so the people has to build relationships, and those will be in the market. And now you can see
Okay.
that now, be, being AI available to every recruiter, and everybody sends the emails, everybody sends all the AI automations and everything. AI can only help you when you are doing as the entry level jobs, or when you are doing high volume recruiting. But when you are recruiting an executive, when you are recruiting an architect, when you're recruiting a 10 plus years resume, you can't even send them uh, like a AI test. They will be really, really upset on your company. It's a bad reputation. You'll get a bad reputation. So having a small part of it doing with the AI, email first, maybe a call. After that, you have to get into it and talk personally, communicate, and also you have to deal. They're not going to talk to any AI machine. So only it can help in certain specific areas, but not everything. If you don't improve yourself, you don't get connections and build rapport, you're going to shade away. But if you are doing right thing and do use it in the right way, the recruiters is going to be more demanding than before.
Now, I'm understanding there's a partnership that I currently work in some of my recruiting on the side, similar to what you've already professed as far as using AI somewhat as an administrative assistant. But I do know what I found very successful in my work in recruiting, especially with corporate positions. Building the relationships is key, like you said. If you're not following up with personal conversations, emails that say thank you, it's the personal relationships and the development of that I see as the key to keep human interaction as the center point for recruiting. Would you still agree that human interaction is really
Absolutely,
the most favorable?
absolutely, absolutely. And I mean, we are only talking about the recruiters, but I am stretching it out. It's for the job seekers is more important too. So there are
Yeah,
like 100
elaborate on
ways.
that. Elaborate on that, please.
Yeah. See, an example, there are so many entry level jobs. And now with the AI, it's easy to post, easy to write a job description, easy to automate everything. And AI can filter with your keywords, and AI can prepare a resume. Everybody doing on 100% perfect, but who's going to get an opportunity? So here's the thing. Now I'm going to stress it out. Personal branding is not only for recruiters, not only for the staffing. It also helps the job seekers having a proper profile, and making that you are a real human, because there are so much fake outside. So and posting it every day, talking about your stories, and
Mhm.
connecting to the hiring managers. Where you connect through the LinkedIn is different. When you are sending like hundreds of application automatically for hundreds of jobs, it's they're not going to help you out. Even you getting a contact, and these days is very easy. If you find some a job, and who is the hiring manager, maybe two or three members of that company, and getting through references or getting through connected is way important than just applying. So building personal brand is very important, even the job seekers, and the relationship really matters. Otherwise you would not get a job that easily in this AI world.
So it's still, so for the job seeker, what I'm saying is, and I was specifically more talking about recruiters, but you actually, Ranjith, I'm really glad you emphasized this. It is definitely beneficial for the job seeker to develop personal relationships and building the personal brand. So in following along those lines, building your personal brand in a social media world, how can the job seeker help to show that they are a human in their profile on LinkedIn or Glassdoor or Indeed? How can they help to establish building a personal brand that says, "Here I am as a person," rather than an AI generated candidate? What separates the two? Do you have a
um,
marker that's able to show that a job
yes.
seeker can separate themselves in the social media world?
Yes. See, first thing, now I'm glad the LinkedIn is like verifying everybody and giving a verified this right mark on right next to your name.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
itself, you are a genuine profile. The first thing you should do it immediately, verify yourself, and get that shield right next to your name. Along with that, show your real pictures, genuine, your face. And also, of course, there is so much to talk about the optimizing resume, a job seeker, that's a different thing. Telling a story about yourself and talking. See, like, even though if I go to college, I'll be spending 3 or 4 years there. There's so much to talk about. There's so much you already communicated with your college students, or your professors, and everything can be your story. So when you genuinely share your pictures with maybe a professor, maybe talking to the friends, or you go out and take a 1 minute of video introduction talking about yourself.
Oh,
That
very
will,
good point. No one's
yeah,
mentioned that. There's such a Ranjit. I'm so glad you said that. That's in talking to some other recruiting professionals. No one's touching that. So making personal videos is one of the ways to put you out ahead of the crowd.
yeah, of course. See, that's not only the candidates, all the recruiters also, we are doing the same thing. So now what I am suggesting to my candidates, first thing is, of course, LinkedIn is the one. Okay, people is going to
Yes.
watch
Yeah.
your how genuine you are, what do you have experience and everything. And now the references are more important now. Have a proper references, because that will make you as a real person. And now, and along with that, and the 1 minute video, I would recommend them to talk on each job. Like example, if Seth has a job position, and you are a hiring manager, you have a position. So I can jump on just on mobile and take not 1 minute, 30 seconds video, and Seth, I came across a profile, I mean the job, I have these many skills, I'm located here, I'm very much interested to join with you, or whatever, right? That one message with a 30 seconds to 1 minute will take you to next level, because there's so much crowd out there. They don't know how to make themselves,
stand out,
and out of those 100K profiles. So that's going to definitely need in this AI world. People has to upgrade. People has to think different. How you can make different than others. Yeah.
So the candidate has to make sure how they can look different, and looking different, if we're going to put an exclamation point on that, is that the more personal videos are what's going to help them stand out as far as getting the job of their desire.
Yes. So it doesn't need to be very fancy. Now the more fancy you make, the people gonna think like it's a AI video. So the genuine, no backgrounds, no fancy, no making edits or something, just a genuine video, like a raw video, will help you to shortlist your resume and go to next level.
And that sounds perfect. Now I'm curious, are you, along with that, for job seekers, are you seeing any particular job area? And well, actually, I guess I should backtrack. Are you only in IT recruiting, or are you also in very other diverse fields of recruiting?
I do construction. I mean, see, in IT industry, we have a different, we do healthcare, finance and everything, but we also do the construction in recruiting. That's a full-time jobs. Along with that, we also help the college, graduates, like, who finishes the masters or bachelors, right? So for them, we have a career launch program. We help them to educate, like, we help them, like, same exactly what I discussed about the LinkedIn resumes, and creating their own personal brand, and making them, out of those 100K applications, right? You have to differentiate yourself. So reaching those client managers. So we educate them. We help them to get the jobs for them. So that's the other thing. Also, I'm trying to help job seekers.
So primarily in IT and construction, and then graduates, you said.
Yeah.
Now, in within those industries, are you seeing any specific new fields stepping out that job seekers should be aware of within the recruiting realm?
Of course. Currently, I mean, the technologies we used to place, now no more hiring. So everything is AI, especially the data science, data analyst, and Python. Those areas, there's more demand, but everybody need an experience. Which is difficult. So 1 to 2 years of AI, if you have AI experience, you would definitely get a very good opportunities out there. It's trending now. I mean, there are other opportunities, but we don't know how long those going to be there. But you want to be way ahead and go to the next level, and be in a good company. You have to work on something related prompt engineering, AI, data engineer, data analyst, machine learning, and Python. These technologies are trending in IT right now.
And if you wouldn't mind, can you briefly go into each of your companies, how they integrate with each other and what their functionalities are?
You mean these technologies?
In specific, Soci M8 and Elite Recruiting.
Sure. See, the social, why Soci M8, I had to start is, I was talking about how, I mean, I'm stressing out how it's very important is a personal branding. I started 3 years back. 3 years back, because I was not a social guy, I want people to know me not knowing the people. See, I'll give an example. So why personal branding is important. See, I reached every day 30 to 40 people in LinkedIn. I maxed out, probably I gathered maybe 200-300 personal connections, but I don't remember their names. How to keep in touch with them? How many people you can keep in touch? Even my daughter, I always say, I always say that, make more friends. She say that if making a friend and keeping in touch is a lot of work. That's what, her excuse. So, so if you compare to the business, knowing people is very hard. How many people you can keep in touch? How many people you can, network? But if you make a platform, you make a personal brand, people know you. You don't need to know their name. They will know me. They will know Ranjit. So that's how the branding means. So it's kind of now with the AI, it's going to be very, very tough outbounding leads. It's very difficult because every client, every lead, 10 people are sending a messages. So it's very hard to make yourself unique or
Stand
different
out.
and get
Yes.
the business, right? So now
Yes.
an example, if you build a brand and you are sharing your knowledge and telling that how what you do, your values and your everything, it's in the LinkedIn, right? So people gonna see you as an expert, as a go-to leader, as a go-to industry company, or maybe some mentor, whatever it is. Like the way you communicate in LinkedIn will lead more leads in the inbound. See, inbound is very easy. That's the only way you can survive in this AI. So the branding is, that's what I say, very important. Okay, so if I come to back to my social mate. So now with that I build already 30K. Then now my business is, I systemized it, it's running. I have a people, they are taking care. All my job is to networking and building my brand, company and mine. So the candidates will come to through references. Clients can come looking at us and see we are industry leaders and we are specifically in IT staffing. So that's what I'm doing. Along with that, being in IT staffing and working those 3 years in myself in personal branding, I realized it, okay, it's not only for me, it's for everybody. So I did okay, but what if I can educate industry and help somebody who doesn't have a time to spend 40 minutes or 4 hours to write, craft their complete LinkedIn post for 1 week or 1 month. I'm educating them how to do it. If they don't have a time, I'm helping them to do the back end work. So basically, I'm helping to them. I'm helping to build their personal brand. That's why the social M8 started. So, and there's one more thing, Recruit Elite, which is actually, because see, everybody think initial status. Not many people know how important is the coaching and mentoring and guiding. If you have one person to talk, I really, really miss that. I had to go through a lot of stress because of that. If I knew that I can hire a coach or somebody and who can really help me on this journey to be more successful or very quick. That I lately realized it, but not everybody is ready to pay. So then I thought, initial status, when I need a recruiter, I had to ask many people, but not many people helped me to direct where can I find a recruiter. And the second thing, every contract, every templates, and how to register a company, these are the things, is the basic things if somebody wants to start a business. So I thought it could really help. I built a community called Recruit Elite Community, where I have some videos how to start a business, and you get the templates, contracts, and even phone scripts, even email templates. Everything I gave it for free. People can join and take it from there. And along with
That's
that,
Recruiting Light. That's
that's
your
a
other company, Recruiting Light.
yeah, it's a Recruit Elite, yes. And
Okay.
it has already a launch pad. I don't know how many videos I created, step by step I created, and it's for free. And also I'm trying to build for the personal branding same way. to have some, free courses to educate the, others.
So those links, would you please give out those links again as we're going short on time so people can know how to reach you for those links? And we're also going to attach those at the end of this interview.
Sure, of course. Right.
The link, can you say the link, please, for Recruit Lite?
Yeah, it's a Recruit ELITE. That's it, Recruit Lite. And if you go to my if you go to my LinkedIn, and just in most of the post comments, you will have the link to join in community. So that link, you click on it, and it will directly ask you to join. There's no acceptance or approval needed. Go there. We already have 800 people there. So you can even communicate with anybody. You can ask any questions you have. You can ding me directly, DM me from there. I would be happy to help.
Fantastic. Ranjith Ravula. I hope I said your last name correctly. Is Ravula, correct?
That's right.
Ranjith, I thank you so much for joining us today. And as a recruiting professional, it's particularly important to me. And I'd like to be able to talk to you again as recruiting is continuing to change. It's still a part of my professional industry. And I'd love for us to shoot the breeze and be able to give some other insight in possibly what we could do to work together to help new recruiters and people who are starting recruiting businesses. Sound all right?
All right, sir. Great. Yep.
Ranjith, thank you so much for joining us here at Makers Bar. This is your boy Seth Garu Baxter with Makers Bar, where we're creating 1 million leaders today for tomorrow. You've had one of the industry leading professionals in recruiting, and his company that I've seen just grow in the short time that I've known him. We're so glad he graciously chose to share his time with us. Ranjith, we're wishing you all the sincere blessings and success, and we're looking forward to speaking with you again, sir.
Thank you, Seth. I am very, fortunate to be on your podcast, and you are a leader too. You are into recruiting.
Thank you.
And thank you so much, and hope someone will inspire from my story, and they reach their goals. Yeah,
I'm sure they will. Folks, this is your boy Seth Garu. Please press like, share, and subscribe. Get to know Ranjith and check out his company on LinkedIn, as well as the addresses that we'll put after this. And please let someone know that Makers Bar is talking to the CEOs and entrepreneurs that are doing something specifically on the cusp of change, as we're moving at times that we have not ever seen before. This is the time, especially for young recruiters and as a recruiter myself. As I always say at the end of the program, the revolution that we want is the love-olution. So let's go out there and begin to make the love-olution happen. It's Seth Garu speaking from Makers Bar. Stay in touch, reach out, and give some love to someone else. Ranjith, thank you, my good brother, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thank you.
Absolutely.